Let's get into the S episode. We got sex, sins, and suspicions.
Ooh, spooky.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that make me. Let's talk about sex. All right, let's get into it.
Fabulous. That was actually very nice, you guys.
Yeah,
that was a sweet little thing.
We can't have music anymore.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't think ears will be bleeding after that.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I have a terrible voice, like absolutely so bad.
I thought that sounded nice to my ears, though.
You guys did.
pleasant.
You
It's
sounded
pleasant.
nice, ladies. You
Thank
sounded
Rhea.
nice.
You sounded good too.
Oh,
Sweet.
thank you. So so nice this
We're
evening.
so sweet this
So
evening.
we're so complimentary today.
I
What's
love
it all about?
the evening at 11 a.m.
Oh yeah, no, it's 11 a.m. on Friday. We're recording this early, but let's get into sex topic. This one made me nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah, you're
just
nervous?
sex in general is like, whoa, broad
relax.
topic, lots to talk about.
I know.
Do you guys want to hear the definition of sexual intercourse? It's actually really funny because
I
it's
guess so. I mean,
kinda
I think we know
outdated.
it, but
No, I know, but I want to read it because it's from the Oxford Dictionary, which like for some reason made me crack up, and it just seems a little incorrect. Sexual contact between individuals involving penetration, especially the insertion of a man's erect penis into a woman's vagina, typically culminating in orgasm and the ejaculation of semen. There is growing evidence of tolerance of sexual activity other than heterosexual sexual intercourse. So basically they're like, this is what sex is, but like lately it seems like some people are doing other stuff, but we're not sure. That's what Oxford Dictionary
we don't
is
know.
saying.
We're closing our eyes.
Yeah, we're not really sure about
Yeah,
it.
that seems.
So I thought that was funny.
highly outdated.
Yeah,
obviously.
very much so. That's if you look up sexual intercourse definition, that's what comes up. Seems like they should change it.
Yeah, they definitely should. Well, we're going to cover all the bases, but I got a question for you guys. When it comes to sex, and say you're talking to somebody new, or it's your boyfriend or your girlfriend, whoever it is, do you ask them how many people they've had sex with? Do you want to know the answer? How do you guys feel about that?
Eventually I ask, but I don't want to know in the beginning. I feel like you can't just be like, so how many people have you had sex with?
Right.
I do not want to know because you know why? I don't want to be asked. I don't want to have to give my number. That's
Right.
why. Because there's obviously a standard. Like if I hear a guy's had sex with 100 women, which I feel like that's not crazy for some guys, like that has happened. I'm gonna be like, okay, fine, like whatever, that sucks. Like you're Jesus Christ, you like really went through all these ladies. Yeah. But if I say, yeah, I've had sex with like 50 guys, they're gonna be like, what the fuck? And then that's it. And then you're a slut. Hashtag slut.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's kind of a good, like, I like your answer because I feel like that's the way it should be. You know,
Yeah.
why does it matter at that point?
Yeah, I don't give a shit
Because
also.
the people
I'm like,
before
whatever.
you shouldn't matter,
Yeah.
even though they always end up mattering. And especially after you know the number, you want to know who. Who is
I
the
feel like
next
I need
question?
to know who because I need to know that,
Who to
like,
look out for.
Yeah, who are you talking to that person? You fucked them before?
Yeah.
I got to know that, so you can't talk to that
Usually,
person anymore.
here, like, I feel like younger me, when I first got into my relationship, may have asked those questions.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, why would you ever ask that question? Now I feel like I would never ask that.
I've had the
But is that because you know the answers already?
No, it has nothing to do with knowing the answer. I don't care. Like, I don't care about the answer. That's why I'm saying, why would I even ask that? Because I don't even care about the answer.
Or
Yeah.
is it because you don't want to know?
It's more so that I understand the point that Kelly's saying
Yeah.
more than I did when I was 19.
Yeah.
Like when I was 19, I was like, I need to know
Yeah.
everything. And now I'm like, no, you don't. Because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
I also was like that. I used to want to know everything. Yeah, when I
Yes.
was younger, but it was different when I was like 19 because the max most people had slept with was like 10. So it was like, all right, I can deal with that. But now I'm 30 years old. Everybody I've hooked up with at this point is probably like, I don't know. I assume has had sex with more than that.
They're
Like,
a few bodies deep.
yeah, they're pretty deep in those bodies. So I feel like I've definitely had the conversation as an adult. Like my like last relationship, I remember being at dinner and kind of getting into the conversation, like so. But it wasn't phrased so much in like how many people have you had sex with. It was more so like how many people have you like dated? Like it's like have you been like were you a dater or did you like whatever? And that kind of evolved into like, oh yeah, I had like this boyfriend and like this boyfriend, and I like left off a lot of people.
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
talked about like a few boyfriends, quote unquote, and then I think the assumption was like, oh, those are the only people she's had sex with, but it wasn't. Not even close.
That's just all you
but
brought
it
up.
just kind of was a
Yeah.
brief conversation that we breezed by, and then about to what you're saying, or I think what you said about running into people and wondering like, did you have sex with them? I would rather assume it's nobody than like think every single person that's coming up to them is having sex with them like that, because that would kill me. Like if I have to do that.
True.
But I do get mad if I find out that some like best fucking friend is running around and you guys have had sex and you didn't tell me. Then I'm mad about that.
If it's a close friend, if it's
Yes.
a person in the friend group that you had sex with, you need to be made aware of that.
Yes.
I have an issue where we go to, Hankstown and we'll run into people and we'll meet people left and right that he's friends with, and I'm always like, did you hook up with that person?
Yeah.
Like I can't even stop myself, but it's
know.
not even like I'm getting mad. It's more to like push his buttons a little bit.
Yeah.
Make
But
it a
it's
little
like,
joke.
Why'd you hook up with that person?
Yeah, you're just like,
that's
oh, okay.
You're down bad,
like
bro.
sometimes I'll be like, oh, somebody's got a little crush.
Yeah,
Like I do it kind of just to get under his skin a little
Sure,
bit,
yeah.
even though at the end of the day, what am I going to do about that? Because
Yeah,
if
he
he
didn't even
came
know you.
to my town and started doing that, like we're going to have some issues. Although I have made out with entirely more people than I've had sex with. Like the number isn't even close.
Yeah. Because you were making out with everyone when you were off the Jungle Juice too.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one
yeah.
night really did me in.
You got 20 bodies that night.
No, but I mean, like, I feel like I was always more prone to just making out. The last time I was single was when I was 19, so think about that.
Yeah.
Like all the times before
Yeah,
that.
Same. I've like never been single.
Right. So
Yeah.
all the times before that, I was just making out with people when I was single, and then that number is way higher than the amount of people I've had sex with.
Yeah.
It's not so much the case for me. Making out number is not that much higher. Like it's very much. If I'm making out with somebody, it's pretty likely I'm gonna have sex with them, unless the situation doesn't allow for it. Like you know, for example, if maybe I'm on vacation with my girlfriends and I'm hooking up with somebody on the beach, and people roll up on me and yell in his face and he runs away. Like then
We
I'm
thought
not
you
having
fucked.
sex.
For sure thought you were fucking.
I woulda.
That
I was
video,
about to.
it
I
looked
knew
like
you were
it was
gonna
about
fuck.
to fuck.
Yeah,
I was
because
about
she
to,
had
but
she
no.
had her
It was all
fucking
off.
jumpsuit down.
Hey.
The jumpsuit was down. The guy was ready. He fucking sprinted out of there. He
thought it was
could
like the
not-
police.
He was like, because once Grace pulled out
He
the
thought
cameras,
he thought it was like Chris. Who's the guy who to catch a predator? Yeah, no, to catch a predator. He literally thought that like Grace came running through with that flashlight in his face, yelling like it was no tomorrow. And that man, I mean, I don't blame him, but I also blame him. What the fuck?
That shit was hilarious.
But yeah, like there's not often a time, especially now, like as I'm older. Like I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
What am I? I'm 30 years old. I'm gonna go make like bar make out in the corner of the
I mean,
bar on the
Kelly,
street.
what do you
Not
mean?
like
I've seen you do that.
No, I
within
know.
the but
Yes.
right before the pandemic hit, we were out in
true.
bars and you were making out with people in the middle of
but I
bars.
was like probably going home with that person. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, here I am, snatch, and then we're going, then we're leaving.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's like, maybe not.
I might be lying. I might forget.
Yeah.
But no, the number is almost equal. I would say for me.
Yeah, no.
There was in I don't know, high school, there's like it's called the Xfinity Center, where everyone goes for like their concerts and you go on the lawn. I feel like everyone has that one spot. And me and all my friends would have a contest. Every time we went, we had like a mega ticket. So we would go to like 9 concerts a summer. Who could make out with the most people? And you literally just see.
Did you win?
I think Grace won. To be
Oh,
honest.
you know what?
Grace.
That doesn't
That's my
shock
girl.
me. Grace,
She would just walk up to people. Oh yeah, baby.
That's my
like
girl.
the
She
craziest
strives
looking
hard.
people. Like it was this borderline. Like I don't know if they consented. Grace. It was like so funny, and everyone would just be making out with everyone, and then we'd all come back together and be like, "So how many?" And it was like,
That's
damn.
hysterical.
That's kind of fun.
It was
That
fun,
is
but
really
it was
fun.
like disgusting. If you
Yeah,
think
at the same
about it.
time, if you think about that now, like
Yeah.
coronavirus hits
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
fucking making out with everyone, that can't happen.
Yeah.
That's a no.
And it's dark. Like you can't even see who you're making out with.
Yeah.
It's like pretty gross.
I'm actually really happy that I got all my making out done before
I think
Corona
publicly
hit.
making out is disgusting.
Yeah, I think publicly
No,
making out is
embarrassing.
over.
It's
embarrassing,
It's
yes.
embarrassing. It's over. And now with like being a little cautious about
Yeah.
the big C, it's like people in high school just making out with each other left and
Yeah.
right. College
I hate
making
being
out
caught
all over.
making out.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's so
because then all your
embarrassing.
friends start
Yeah.
like saying things about
Yeah.
it.
Or like if you like wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I was making out in the middle of the bar. That's so
I
embarrassing.
made out with somebody at an Islanders game.
Oh my God.
Imagine that
That's
type
gross.
of video.
gross.
That's a video that goes
No.
viral.
Yeah.
It's like, look
No.
at these
Tongue
two people like
action.
making
sick.
out at a hockey game.
I don't know if I would make out in public anymore now, just for like the scrutiny of it. Like I think if I were to see people making out in public, I'd be like, oh Jesus,
Would
they're
you,
not
Yeah.
concerned. Like people would probably say that.
Would
same
you
shit
do the
about me.
kiss cam at like a game?
Oh my
Oh,
god!
I definitely.
I feel like you would
Yes,
have
but
to.
I can't. I'm
a
sorry,
quick kiss.
I'm making out.
I
Some
would do
people
like an
go
overly.
in.
I do an
Yeah.
overly dramatic. I think because I'm like, oh, this is like an overly dramatic moment, and it'd be in like a silly way.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Like I'd be like,
Really
oh,
make
like
it
la
a-
la la.
Make it a hold to do.
Yeah, yeah. if it was like my boyfriend, I guess. If it was somebody I'm on a date with or something, and they're not ready for me to like be silly eating their face on a kiss cam, then maybe not. Maybe it'd be a little bit of a different situation. Do either of you guys remember the first time you had sex?
Yes, I do.
Borderline blacked out, but yeah.
Mine was the most sober sex that you could possibly have.
I had to get blacked out to do it.
Planned, like, this was the big plan. It was the talk of the town. Everybody in high school was whispering about it. Whispering about it in the hallway on Friday. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna have sex. Like, it's happening when they go home after school today." I actually remember telling my friends, and some of them were like, "Fuck yeah!" And then one of my friends was like, "Why would you do that?" And I was like, "What? This is so weird. We've been talking all our lives about the first time we were gonna have sex, and now you're judging me. This is crazy." But we went home to his house, and he was like, "Yeah, my mom's gonna like be out from this hour, like literally get home at 3:15, whatever." He had a like house cleaner maid person that kind of, I don't know if she lived there, but she was there like during the weekdays, and she was cleaning the other room outside of the basement. Like there was a basement and then another room that was more like the laundry room, and she was in the laundry room, and for some reason we were like, well, we got to get this done now. Everybody's banking on us to have sex. Everybody knows we've made this big plan.
Oh my God.
And so he just stuck it in a little, like with a condom for like a minute or so, and then he got nervous to finish inside me even with the condom on, so then I just blew him to finish him off, and that was the first time I had sex. So it was really it wasn't even uncomfortable. It was just the most awkward situation when you think about it. Like, we're completely sober. It's 3:15. The sun is beaming inside the basement from the windows, and the house cleaner is in the other room because we got to get it done before the mom comes home.
Got to get it done.
Gotta get it done because, and then both of us texting both of our friends after, like we did it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The planned sex with like rumors throughout the high school always was one of my favorite things. Like, oh, did you hear like so and so and so and so are like supposed to have sex this weekend, or like so and so's party, like they're gonna have sex, they're definitely gonna hook up. Yeah. And then people like Hawkeye watch them all night, like, ooh, there they are, like where are they going? Are they going upstairs? Like blah blah blah. So bizarre. The first time I had sex, I was kind of young, and it was with my friend, like not a boyfriend. I wanted to like get it out of the way very much. Like, I don't like when something like that has a stigma that's so much pressure. I don't like pressure, period. I think that pressure just stresses me out in a weird way. But the pressure of like losing your virginity weighed so heavily that I was like, I gotta, like, who's around, who's gonna, who can I trust?
I just was like, fuck it, I'll do it. I didn't do it until end of junior year.
I was like, who can I trust to get this out of the way? Like, I need to know what the fuck is up. Like, I have like a FOMO problem. I was like, I can't have people talking about sex and I don't know what they're talking about. Like, it needs to happen, it needs to get done. And so I like, called up my friend. I like drove to his house, and we were trying to have sex, and he honestly, his like dick was kind of big, especially because we were like kids, like we were, I don't know, 16 or something. And I was like, all right,
things look massive at that age.
And I was like, damn, okay, like what's this? Like, I had like given a couple of hand jobs and like a blowjob at this point, like not like really kind of not very well versed. And so we, his whole situation, like his parents are they're out at dinner for 2 hours. I'm driving myself over like without a real license, and whole thing's happening. And we started to have sex, and he's on top, and it was like not like fitting, like wasn't working, and I kind of panicked, and I was like, I don't know, like something's gonna go fucking wrong, and then I'm gonna have to go to the hospital, like whatever. And he was like, no, like he's like, no, you get on top, like that'll definitely make it easier, I swear, like I was seeing, like that'll make it easier. I like didn't believe him. I was like, no, fuck off, like I'm a girl, like I know what's up, like that's not gonna do anything. He's like, no, I swear. So I did, and it did work, but I think I want to say maybe like I went up and down twice, and then I was like, this is enough. Like, that's enough. Thank you very much. I'm all set.
It's like you only put one quarter in the ride, and you only got a few pumps out of it.
Literally, that's what it was. And he was just like, oh, well, whatever. And then in a similar fashion, blew him to finish, because I was just like, that's it. I'm all set. I know what this is like.
Does anybody finish their first time? What was your first time like?
My first time. So I have two funny stories, because my friend's first time. Let me tell that first, because it's so funny. So it was like, I think it was our sophomore or freshman year of high school. She had this huge party because her parents were away, but her like half blind, half deaf grandfather was babysitting the house so that she didn't have like a party.
So fucked up to laugh.
No, it's hilarious. So she was like
half
always
blind
that.
and half deaf?
like he was like,
There's
you can
always
kinda
that, like,
see,
person,
kinda
though,
hear.
yeah.
So we called it Poppy Fest because it was her grandfather's when he was Poppy. We still talk about it till
Incredible.
this day because it was insane that we had like a rager in the basement. He's in the living room, kind of listening to TV, can't hear anything.
Yeah.
So he brought movies down to us in the beginning because it was like the girls. He's like, "Here, you're gonna have a movie night. Here you go."
So sweet.
And we sneak
Poppy.
in the whole high school through the garage, and this was like my friend's big plan. I'm having sex tonight. Like, we're doing it. I'm having sex. But she had to get past Grandpa Poppy to go have sex. So me and my other friend, we're fucked up. We're smoking cigs inside. We reek of cigarette, and we walk upstairs.
Like, can he smell?
He can smell.
Yes, he can smell
Probably
perfectly.
really strong smell.
Yeah.
So me and another friend go up to distract Poppy, and we're like talking. We're like, "Yeah, this movie was so good," and we're like blocking the entrance.
Yeah.
So my friend and her boyfriend run up to the room, and they bang it out. Whatever, they have sex. They never come back down, and they fell asleep. And her parents and Poppy were going to be there in the morning. So there's a roof connected to her window. The boyfriend had to climb out the window, jump from the second story into the bushes. He like smashed his head and run home so that no one found out that they had sex. And then like the next day in high school when she came in, we played like, "I just had sex."
Oh,
And
that
she
sounds
was
like a movie.
It was so funny. But my first time, kind of similar. My parents were away. I was having a party, and I was like, "It's time. I gotta have sex." Like I'm kind of talking to this kid. Don't really even know him. Barely talk to him. Like I don't even like. I was nervous to talk to boys. Like I didn't talk to him when I saw him in high school. It's like, "Oh yeah, okay, but I'll fuck you if I'm drunk." So I got super drunk, and I was like, "It's time. Let's go upstairs." And
It's time.
my other
It's
friend that
time.
lost the virginity with Poppy Fest, I was letting everyone use my room to fuck. I was like, "Yeah, come on, let's all have sex."
It's a smush room.
Yeah, my
It's a smush
bedroom,
room.
my literal personal bedroom was a
Yep.
smush room. So I walked in on that other friend, literally riding this kid in my bed, shut the door. I was like, "All right, I'll be back for my turn." So then I get more fucked up. I bring up this kid. He's younger than me. I'm like 17. I don't even know. He was like the grade younger than me. He might have been 17, 16. But I bring him upstairs, and I'm like, "Let's do it." I had never done anything before. Like I like gave one blowjob and didn't like. I was like, "Oh, this is crazy." I was
Yeah,
like a
this
little
wasn't
kid
your
when I
jam.
did
Yeah.
it. So
You were still a lesbian when that
I
happened.
was still a lesbian
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
gave
yeah.
a blowjob. So I was
Right,
like, I
right.
don't really know. And had sex, barely remember it, but so fucked up. So he was scared to come. We used a condom, but he was still scared to come inside, so he came outside. Used condom. My little cousin's backpack is in our room. I'm like, "No, just throw it out the window. Just throw it out the window." He's like, "No, because what if someone sees it outside? What if like your dad sees it and then he beats me up?" I'm like, "All right, whatever. Do whatever you got to do." Puts the used condom back in the wrapper, puts it in my little cousin's backpack
No.
that she's using for school.
No.
Monday comes around. She goes. I'm telling a secret, and I'm telling us. I'm coming clean right now. So she is in Miss class, English class.
Don't give the names.
No, the teacher, just the teacher.
She's
in Miss Cahill's English class, opens up her bag. She's so innocent. She's never even kissed a boy. She's like, "Oh, what's this? Used condom." To this day, she thinks it was the friend that I walked in on riding the kid. I blamed it all on them. I was like, "I would
course.
never do that." And it was a Magnum XL, and I was like, "Dude,
How big of a dick does this guy have?
I actually don't remember. I was that fucked up. It wasn't that big because it didn't hurt. It was probably falling off the condom.
Sure.
But
He
like
probably
this
was like,
other
"Yeah,
kid
no, I
was
got
like
this. I got it
huge.
like that."
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you don't, dude.
But the other kid my friend was fucking was like a huge basketball player, and he was like older than us. I was like, "Dude, like the kid I fucked wouldn't have a golden like max." Like, that was
Not a
totally hers. Like, why the fuck would I do that? And till this day, I went with that story, and I just came clean that it was
Wow.
mine. Yeah,
That is
hysterical.
disgusting.
disturbing.
That is
How old is your-
disturbing.
how old is
my
your
little
cousin?
baby cousin.
I
Like
can't
she's
believe
my
that-
best friend too. She was 14 at the
Oh
time.
my God. I
Your
can't believe they
poor
didn't call
little
like the
cousin.
police.
Right at school,
Yes.
your little cousin opens up.
Yeah,
fucking,
and it was the talk of like because everyone was obviously
and they
talking
probably
about
thought
it.
she was
Holy
fucking.
shit.
Yeah,
big
and I was
dicks.
like, "Not me, no," because everyone was like, "It was got to be you, Brianna," and I
Yeah,
was
it's
like,
Brianna's
"No,
cousin."
it was them. It was the other ones." 'cause
Oh my god,
was
that
crazy.
is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Speaking
Wait,
of
so that girl still doesn't know. Until she hears this, maybe.
She knows now.
I might have told her like recently, but I think this was the first time I've come clean. Yeah.
You know what? How good does it feel to come clean?
thank you.
Honestly, yeah, it does.
like
Now there's
Thank you for coming
there's
clean.
like I don't have to worry about it. No one's gonna gossip about it in high school. It took 8 years to come clean. But
Exactly. Don't you love that when
Never.
you can finally get a story off your
Yeah,
chest
it's
that
like
you've
it
been
doesn't
holding
matter
on to?
anymore.
Yeah. Speaking of Magnum condoms, I was in 7-Eleven the other day, and this
Yeah.
couple was buying shit, and the girlfriend or the wife was like, "Babe, you want the Magnums, right?" And like screaming it across. I was like, "We get it. He's got a big dick. We understand
shit.
what's
Oh,
happening."
that's me.
And he was like, "Yeah, get me the Magnums." So I was like, "What?" No, they were dead serious.
Oh,
Like,
I was
they
gonna
were
say
not-
that's like a really funny joke.
no,
if they were joking.
swear to
Oh my
God, they were not joking. You can tell when somebody's joking.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were dead serious. Grabbed 2 packs of the Magnums.
Oh
they
my
were
God.
flaunting that big dick
That's
all over the
mortifying.
place.
Mortifying.
I
Swinging
used
dick.
to this is something I want to get off my chest. I used to give the driest hand jobs before I had sex. Before I had sex for the first time, I used to give straight up dry ass hand jobs constantly. Like we would go
Constantly?
home. No, listen to this. I remember the
Come
first.
get your dry hand job from Rhea constantly.
No lotion required. Dry as the desert.
Driest hand jobs, no
Coarse
joke.
hands.
I have not given a hand job since because, first of all, who gives a hand job when you can give a blow job? But at the time, I remember my boyfriend in high school, the first night that he had asked me out, I gave him a hand job because it was like,
Thank you for asking me out.
Thank you for asking me out. I will give you a hand job. But I still was not really, I was a sophomore in high school. I still wasn't really, I didn't know what I was fucking doing. Like, I'm not going to act like a sex expert. I had no idea what I was doing. So I would like fucking jerk him off, but like he wouldn't come.
Yeah.
And it would just go on for so long, like all the time. Like I would go over to his house and I would just
Your hands
we would
cramping
start
up?
we would start making out, and then for a half an hour I'd be fucking jerking him off. And he
That's
would
a lot
and
of
then
work.
he would
That's
be
a lot.
like,
It's like carpal
No,
tunnel.
oh my God, it must have been miserable
Your
for him.
hands
But also
It must have
stuck
been
like this.
fucking miserable
Why
for
would
him.
he not say? I don't
I know,
understand
I
why
have no
guys don't
idea.
stop.
God,
It's like you're
if
gonna
he
let
would've
me
told
jerk
me-
you
right.
off for 30 minutes,
Dry?
dry jerk off for 30 minutes,
now
when
you gotta
know
burn?
that you are better at this. Like you know that you do this all the time.
Right.
Why don't you let me do this?
Tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Because at this time, I was not watching porn. I was not getting advice from anybody. I was just
Giving dry hand jobs.
giving
just
dry
running-
hand jobs.
You were just running
going
a
with
dick
the flow.
exfoliation service. That's
I
what
was.
you were doing.
And we would make out, and then for 30 minutes, I'd jerk him off. He wouldn't come. He'd be like, all right, that's enough. And he would just like fucking pick up his pants. And for so long, this went on until I finally, then the first time I gave a blowjob, we were in my house, we were in my bedroom, and my parents were downstairs, and they had friends over. So I was like, oh, they're not coming up here. They're distracted. And I was giving him a blowjob, and he was like, I'm not going to come. Like, there's too many distractions. There's a lot going on. So for so long, I was failing this man until we finally had sex. I remember
That's tough.
specifically the third time I had sex.
That was when it was finally.
Because it was like, oh, okay, we're trying different things out. Things
Yeah.
are working.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's cum involved.
Right.
My
I
friend
can't-
got the first story that I told Poppy Fest guy. She got the nickname Octopus in 8th grade because she gave her first hand job and she just did this
No.
like this,
No,
and
no,
she was
no.
called Octopus for like 2 years.
And did it feel good for the person, or were they just making fun
No,
of
the
her?
guy just make fun of her. Octopus.
Oh
yeah.
my God, that's
That's
kind
insane.
of hilarious.
Yeah.
though.
That's
At some
insane.
point, you just have to own that.
Yeah.
I think the second time I had sex, no, I know for a fact it was the second time. This is something I'm coming clean about.
Okay.
We're all coming clean today.
I love this.
This is so you know how when you have like a group of guy friends, group of girlfriends, you end up like hooking up with all the guys. It's like very incestuous. Like it's, I mean, maybe that, I feel like that happens in my town. It
I
happens,
feel like that
everywhere.
happens in a lot of friend groups.
Yeah. So I remember I had been hooking up with one of the guys in like my friend group, and he just was like, we didn't have sex, or maybe no, we hadn't had sex at that point. But he, I was like very much in love with him. I was like, oh my God, I'm in love with you. I'm obsessed with you. He was funny, whatever. Really liked him. One of his best friends, I also kind of liked, but not like didn't really care that much about. They were one night or 1 year having a New Year's Eve party. Like this was my friend group, okay? Like my actual friend group. They were having like a New Year's Eve party at this guy's house. This guy that I'm now about to tell you I hooked up with. We were like chit chatting, and I thought I was like invited to this New Year's Eve thing, 'cause it's literally all my friends. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And so this guy was like, yeah, come over like early. blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, it wasn't weird for me to have gone over early, but it did, in retrospect, seem a little weird. So I go over at like 4 o'clock. Everybody's supposed to roll up at like 8, I guess. So I'm over there like 4. All of a sudden, we're like in the basement and we're watching a movie. And I was like, what is, yeah. And I was like, all right, this is whatever. And then we kind of like start hooking up. And I was like, all right, I'm going with the flow. Like, this is a surprise. Like, this is strange. We hook up. We have like sex. Like, he had already had sex. He had like a girlfriend that he broke up with. Like, he had sex more than me. And so I was like, all right, we have sex. I'm kind of like shook up at this point because I'm like, this is the first time I've gotten like railed out a little bit. Like, it was like the second time I'm having sex and I'm getting like railed. Yeah. And so I was like, this is interesting. So that's over. And then he's like, all right, well, you know, I got to start getting stuff ready, like blah, blah. I was like, oh yeah. He's like, all right, so I'll like see you. Well, like, I'll see you later, like blah, blah. And I was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, all right. Like, see you later. And I left and all my friends had New Year's Eve that night. And I was not there. I was like not invited. How weird is that?
At the same house?
At the same house.
What?
Isn't that weird?
That's
I like
crazy.
said goodbye to his parents on the way and they were like, where are you going? I was like, oh, I don't know. Isn't that weird?
That's fucked up.
It's a pretty fucked up thing. And I don't think about it enough.
That is really fucked up.
And I was so fucking nice to him after the fact. Like, I still to this day, I'm like, oh no, he was so sweet or whatever. No, that guy was an asshole. He was also not that cute.
He was an
asshole. I wish I could
asshole.
say his name. Begins with a B. You know who you are.
That's an asshole move.
Yeah,
he
it was an
invited you
asshole
over
move.
for sex and then had a New Year's Eve party and didn't invite
With all
you.
my friends. Like
With
my,
all-
and I'll say
your
this.
friends are assholes.
There was my guy friend
Okay,
group.
okay.
And then like the girls were always interchangeable. But
Okay.
I was around the longest. Like it was myself and a couple other girls were like always around
Well, you
the
would
longest.
think if he had sex with you, he'd want you there for
Want
New
me to
Year's
hang
Eve,
out.
but he
That's
was
what I'm
having sex
saying.
with somebody else probably after.
I have a feeling, yes, probably that. I also have a feeling that he didn't want his friend who I liked actually to know that we had hooked up.
That's
but
true. Some
jokes on
scumbag-
him again. I blew up his spot like a little bit later and was like, yeah, we had sex. Like that was weird.
Scumbag shit.
Yeah,
For
big time.
sure.
Big time.
Wow,
Do you
big
guys remember
douchebag.
any bad sex? That in retrospect was bad sex. Like it was weird and I was uncomfortable like in the moment and I thought it was gonna be cool, but it was like weird with the person. Do you guys remember like a bad sex time?
I've had sex.
Yeah.
Have you guys had like a micro penis?
Not a
Incident?
micro penis, but like kind of small, yeah. Like 4
I've seen a
like,
small-
8 inches.
Like hard, that big.
Oh, that's small.
Like really, like
tough.
How do you work with this?
That's tough.
What do you want me to do?
I feel
here?
bad about that because it's like, how do you know, I equate it to like my boobs are small and I hate when people say that I have like small boobs. I like want to die
Yeah, but
over
your
it.
boobs aren't
I
going
can't imagine.
inside
Yeah.
anyone.
True. But I can't imagine like, oh, my dick is small. Like, what's a guy supposed to do about that?
can't do
But you
anything.
just got to
Can't
get
do
better
anything
at like
about
other
it.
things, right? You just got to be like
You gotta
the
be-
best
yeah.
at eating someone
Yes.
out. Like
Yeah,
you
and
got to
he
be.
wasn't. He was
You
just
gotta become a master
like you
with
gotta
the
Yes,
work on
literally.
other things. You can't just be
Exactly.
like I have a small dick.
Right.
Sorry. It's like
Yeah.
okay, well
Damn.
level up.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Level up
I
then.
don't care so
Level
much
up,
about your
bro.
small dick as long as you can like get
Do
it done.
other
You know what I
stuff,
mean?
yeah.
Where's like the craziest place that you guys have had sex?
An unfinished house in Florida, like it was
Oh, that's
being
cool.
built.
Oh, you went into
An abandoned house. Yeah.
okay.
Craziest.
Security came on their bikes.
I've had sex in a lot of like bar bathrooms. I'll be honest. Most recently, on like a cliffside grotto situation. That was very recent.
Oh, this past
very
weekend.
recent.
Congrats on the sex, Kelly.
Thank you for that.
That sounds beautiful.
That was it
That
was
is pretty
actually.
beautiful.
Oh my god! I'm like I can't believe I'm telling the story. It was it's really funny. Like we were again at this mansion house, and there was this like side thing. The whole house we were staying at was like very much like a swinger house. We came to the
Yeah.
conclusion just because like everything in the house, there was like no doors on the bathrooms. There was like beds everywhere, like not in places there should be beds. Like there was just shit everywhere, and there's this like outdoor like grotto thing that did not with water or anything. It just was like an inset into the like cliff and it had these like trees going over it. So there was like sun shining through the leaves and there was like the view and I don't know. It was actually really nice,
That
but it was
sounds
really weird also.
pleasant.
Yeah, it
No,
was pretty
weird,
pleasant.
beautiful.
It was
Beautiful.
actually
Beautiful.
nice, but it was kind of, afterwards I was like, oh yeah, I'll mark this one down.
Yeah,
for,
that's a good.
this
That's
is
a
worthy
good
one to mark
thing
down.
to have on your resume
Yeah.
for sure.
Felt good about
when I
that.
went through like kind of like my slut phase. I guess everybody has that. I used to have sex in my sister's car all the time, and I'd always like ask her. And I'd be like, how would you feel if like somebody, do you have sex in your car? And she's like, absolutely not. And if somebody did that, I'd be so fucking mad. And then I'd literally take the car and go have sex with somebody in
Oh
her
my
car.
God. I've still never had sex in a car.
Really? It used to
Don't
be
bother.
Like I
it-
never had to.
It used to be my go-to move. I swear to
Same.
God. Like I thought I was so cool when I'd be like, yeah, I could just come pick you up and we could just have sex in the car.
Yeah,
I used
see,
to do
like
that
I always had a place to go.
all the time.
I used to
was
meet
kinda
up in
bizarre.
parking lots. Meet up in parking lots and like get into
Yeah.
the other
Oh,
car.
I'll get
That
into
was
your
a-
car. You'll get into my car.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Oh my God. I'm like literally,
gross,
I
though,
get
you know?
so
Someone pulling up
skeeved
on
out.
that?
Yeah,
I
no,
would
same.
never do that now. If Hank was like, "Hey, do you want to go have sex in the parking lot around the block from your house in the car?" I'd say, "Absolutely not.
No.
Are you out of your fucking mind?"
Yeah, what the
But
fuck?
when I like a few
Literally.
years ago, I would do that shit like crazy, like in my middle school parking lot. Like that's
fucked up.
out of control.
That's a sin.
That literally a sin. It's a perfect way to transfer into
Perfect
sins.
way to transfer.
Catholic school, by the way. I
sin,
feel like
of course.
I feel like every time, without fail, it's like you guys want me to bring up me going to Catholic school
I know.
because the topic is sins, and we all know you got to go to confession.
Yeah.
I used to make up sins like crazy. I just pull them out of my pocket.
I made myself worse than I was. Like
All the
I
time.
was like, yeah, I'm a liar. I'm a cheater. I
same.
watch porn. I don't even know what porn was.
Same. I would go in, I would sit down and be like, Father, forgive me for all these sins. It's been 9 months since my last confession. And then I would say, oh, I cheated on this test. I lied to my parents. I told them I'd clean my room and then I didn't do it. I just made up shit in my head because I had I remember workshopping with my classmates before we went in. I'd be like, what are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell them?
Same.
Oh,
And then
that's
they'd say, go back to the pew, sit down, and say 3 Hail Marys.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that's how
3
you
Hail
absolve
Marys,
of your
like 2 Our
sins.
Fathers, 3 Hail Marys.
Right? It's
Did
like,
you guys ever?
fuck you. That doesn't work.
Did you guys ever have to do confession face to face with your priest?
All the time.
Yes, that's what all I did.
I
yeah.
only ever did that. Actually, no, that's a lie. Almost every time I've done that, I haven't gone to confession that many times. That's why I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
was face to face, and it was so fucking uncomfortable. But then, how come always we see or we hear that they're always in the privacy screen? Like, how come
Not
they don't let
true.
kids
It's
do
always
that?
adults in
mine
the
was
privacy
always
thing. Yeah, right.
always face to
they're
face.
like-
I think if you go to confession as an adult and it's not in school,
Yeah, because we had to go.
then
Yeah.
they put the thing up. But because we had to go, it was always face to face. Always
uncomfortable.
the most fucking awkward
With
thing
some old
of
judgy
all
man.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all just old judgy men, and then they would go and then when the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Amen, throw some holy
How
water
would
on
they
you, and you
laugh?
walk out.
Like it's probably funny. Like a little kid just being like, I didn't clean my room and like
Yeah.
it's funny.
It just seems so dumb, right?
Like that's a sin.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
didn't clean
It's
your
like,
room.
all right,
I lied to my mom. It's like, what are you? And then they lord over you like, that's a sin. Like,
Yeah.
you better get back there with that Hail
like,
Mary. Like, it's
well,
just
you just gotta
the pressure.
You gotta
of
be
that.
ready for next month.
Yeah, like, oh, don't do that again. Like a stern
cannot,
talking to
yeah.
from this like strange, super old man who like, as far as you can tell, has like the power of God behind him. Like that's
Yeah.
just. It's ridiculous. I
I'm
can't.
so glad
I can't
I'm
with all
not
that.
involved in that anymore.
Same, like trying to think about going to
God.
confession now. I think I'd use the same shit. I'd be like,
too.
I'd lied to my mom and dad.
I'd smoke weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what are you?
I'm
supposed
having
to say?
sex before marriage. I don't
Yeah.
know what to tell you.
I'm getting
Father.
railed, father.
Left and
Father,
right.
I'm getting railed and doing rails. What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, fight me, bitch.
I'm in line for the bathroom, getting a line in the bathroom. Father, me and Miley. What do you guys think about the 10 Commandments are technically the sins you can't break, right? Those are the thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder, covet thy neighbor's wife, like
Yeah,
shit
it would
like
be
that.
a sin if you were to go against them.
Yeah. So those are sins in the Catholic Church. I was curious about other religions.
Everyone goes to hell then.
Yes.
Like everyone breaks those.
I was curious about other religions. Judaism, there are 613 commandments.
That's too much.
That's too much.
You know what?
How
my
in-depth
favorite,
That's too much.
What's your favorite 10 commandment though? Because mine is you shall not covet your neighbor's wife.
Yes.
It's just so fucking random. It's
Sounds
like
absurd.
You just cannot want your fucking friend's
Can't
wife.
fuck your
Yeah,
you
no.
can't fuck
Can't
your
have
friend's
that.
wife.
Can't have
thou
that.
shalt not kill. Like obviously.
Out of all the things in the world, it's like you should not want your friend's
That was
wife.
like a personal thing that happened.
Yeah, that was a personal problem.
So personal.
Whoever was writing
No,
that
you're
was like,
so
my
right.
fucking friend fucked
Yeah,
my
yeah.
wife.
Don't you fucking dare look at my wife again. I swear to
And I
fucking
wanna kill
God.
him, but I
Try
can't.
it. You're going to hell. Try it.
That's my
Every
favorite
single time.
commandment.
But
It's so personal.
it's so personal. So anyway, so Judaism has 613 commandments, but in their eyes, they're not like that you can break them, but they're not technically called sins. It's like you fucked up. All right, well, you got to work on that.
Oh,
Like
that's
that's
kinda
basically all they
chill.
do, which is nice. And then in Buddhism, there are no sins, no such thing.
I love that.
It's just like you fuck up, you're just like, life is life. That's how I like that shit. I might be a low key
beautiful.
Buddhist.
Fucking
Like
sick.
I think about that all the time. When I was reading through it again last night, and I've read a couple like Buddhism books just out of curiosity. That might be my jam. If I'm gonna ever get religious, I think I'm signing up.
If I ever
with the
had to,
Buddhists.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
Buddhism.
What do
Well,
you guys think
so
about?
sins are just a religious thing.
Pretty much, yeah. Well,
Sins are a bunch of
what about
fucking
the
bullshit.
7 deadly sins,
What's that?
which are
Wait, have you never seen Seven?
The seven
movie?
deadly
Seven, the
sins,
movie,
yes.
like
Seven?
guilt, gluttony.
lust,
No.
gluttony,
I don't
greed,
think so.
sloth, wrath, envy, and pride.
I said guilt. That's not one. Can you name them again? Sorry.
Wait,
Let's
Kelly,
see,
you-
1,
you
2,
gotta make
3,
Bree
4,
watch
5, 6,
Seven.
7. Oh yeah, 7 is it's a scary movie. You should watch it.
I've heard about it.
It's with like Brad Pitt, Gwyneth
Gwyneth
Paltrow,
Paltrow, Morgan
yeah.
Freeman.
It's an old time. It's like a
Older movie?
like an older movie. Yeah, it's like 90s. Really good though. Scary. My dad references it like all the time. He's
I'll
always
watch
like,
it this weekend.
Don't open the box. Like that's all my dad ever says.
I have watched that, and then I've watched
Yes.
that.
Oh, you have?
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's like at the end they're in like the big.
What's in
they're-
the box? Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what's in the box?
Because like
head,
every
right?
Yes, okay,
every
yeah. Faces in the
murder
box.
every murder is a sin. Like
Yeah.
one of the
Yes, I
deadly
One
have
of the-
watched
they,
that.
like, curate
and
them.
it's crazy.
It is crazy. So here they are again. Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. Which I think out of all of these, sloth is the dumbest one. Laziness is what that is.
That's
Is a
what I
sin?
don't get. When they
That's a
call them the
deadly
seven
sin?
deadly sins, it's like gluttony. Like
Yeah.
when and the way that they always described it in school was like, say you get 1 slice of pizza, but you then want 7 slices of pizza. Bad. And I never understood that.
Shouldn't
being
like pedophilia be on there?
yeah,
And
yeah, like
fucking
the real deadly
serial
sins.
killers.
yeah,
And like what?
fucking yeah.
Damn, you have too much pride, sinner of
Yeah,
hell.
Is
It's
gluttony
crazy.
like a low key fat shame? Like is that like ingrained? Like oh, it's like you've eaten too many cupcakes.
It's more,
like how
yeah,
dare
it's
you?
like, it's like just
that's-
like wanting more of whatever.
I guess that's true.
Indulging.
Yeah, and
And
overindulging
overindulging, which
I guess
is like,
in-
why
in
is
all-
that a
Why is that a
deadly,
deadly
sin?
sin?
seems really weird. I also
Lust,
think
This seems
that
personal.
Lust
once again.
is also deadly sin.
Slut
That's kind
shaming.
of fucked up because they're basically
Yeah.
slut shaming.
They're not
being like,
body positivity. They're
no,
not.
they're not sex positive.
slut shaming, pride. Well, you can't feel good about yourself. What the fuck is
Yeah.
that?
I say we cancel the deadly 7 sins.
I say we
we
do
come
too.
up with new 7 deadly
Agreed.
sins.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that these are fucking stupid. But they
what
let's
could
see,
we
they're
put on there?
capital vices or cardinal
Pedophilia
sins.
for sure.
It's a grouping and classification of
What's it
vices
called?
within Christian teachings. Blah blah blah.
I don't know.
They're not mentioned in the
Robbery,
Bible.
racism,
Racism.
Racism.
pedophilia. What is it when you like to fuck dead bodies?
Necrophilia.
Necrophilia.
All the philias.
All the philias. Put on all the
the
philias.
7 philias.
Yeah, we're good.
All the there it is. We're done. The Philias. we've renamed the this is also based off of that like Dante's Inferno situation.
Oh,
like
yes,
that whole-
Dante's
all that
Inferno.
shit, which I actually think is
Was it the
I'm
Rings
sorry.
of Hell?
Yeah, Dante's Purgatory. Let me look up Dante's Inferno because that's actually so interesting. Dante's.
So who's the writer? Do we know who came up with these?
No, it's like a Christian thing, but they don't really say. You know, it's just like here it is. Let's see. The first circle is limbo. Oh yeah, no. They are literally the 7 sins. First circle is limbo. Then lust, gluttony, greed, wrath, hearsay, HERES.
Is that gossip?
In the sixth, let's see. The soul dies with the body are trapped in flaming tombs. Dante holds discourse. What the fuck? This is insane. I can't see anything because my eyes fucked up right now. Political affiliation. I don't know. This is a really long thing. The Dante's Inferno thing I know is like so in depth, and each one has like all these multiple meanings, but I guess they coincide with these other. Oh, violence is one of them. Fraud and treachery. So that's a little bit of difference, but. Lust, gluttony, greed, and wrath are from the OG 7 sins, and then add in violence, fraud, treachery. That's a little better, I think.
Yeah.
Those things are
Yeah,
like
those,
violence
I
and
guess.
fraud.
Yeah, violence and fraud are
Sure.
2 bad things.
Treachery. Treason. That's
Treason?
That's treachery,
Yeah.
right? Am I wrong about that? I might be right.
Yeah, people
You know,
get in trouble for that.
for sure. For sure they do.
damn.
For sure they do. What about what do you guys think about when they say people are living in sin? Because they're unmarried and they are having sex and they're living together when you're not supposed
Oh,
to.
that's
quote,
like
all
some
of us.
old time shit. You
Yeah,
know?
I know.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk these
I agree with
days.
that.
Absolute crazy talk.
Crazy
get
talk.
how
You're
people
living in
actually
sin right now,
believed in
are you?
that.
I've been living in
You've
sin my
been
whole
living.
life.
Yeah.
I've been
same. We're sinners.
I sin every single day.
Call me
Same.
a fucking sinner, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a bad girl.
I'm probably.
Bad
I'd rather laugh with the
Damn.
sinners than what is it? I'd rather laugh with the sinners than die with the saints. Is that the term? Billy
I don't
Joel?
know, but
I don't know,
that's-
but
I think
pretty-
that is,
I'm getting
but-
that tattooed on my back.
Yeah, I like that right
I'm
now.
pretty sure I'd rather laugh with the sinners than cry with the saints.
I think you're
Yeah.
right.
That's
Yeah.
pretty fire.
Yeah, only the good die young. I'd rather laugh with the
Only
sinners
the
than cry
good
with the saints.
die
Yeah, that's a
young.
fire
I like
line.
that. Yeah.
Of course you'd rather hang out with the sinners. Way more fun.
Obviously. Way
Who
more
wants
fun.
to hang out with somebody who doesn't sin?
No, nobody.
You're telling me you'd want to chill with Mother Teresa? That's
No.
not
It's
seeming fun.
boring.
You have to
Bitch
be
sounds so
so
boring.
nice and like proper.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
Oh,
shut up.
forget
Mother
it.
That
Teresa.
seems like you're going to, Thanksgiving with some family members that you got to dress
Yeah.
up for, and you don't want to deal with that.
No. It's like you're at an interview.
Exactly. You'd rather meet up with somebody like Dante.
Yeah.
Oh, without question. Yeah, Dante's Inferno, like, sure, maybe it sounds bad. It's like a lot of torture, but I don't know. Maybe when you get to the end, it's not so bad.
I don't know.
feel like I
about
could deal with
that.
some of that
I don't
bullshit.
know
Shit.
about that.
What about Sin City?
Vegas?
Yeah. Literally,
Fuck yeah.
literally
I have
named
no
for
desire
sins
to go
and
there,
vices.
Ever. I think
Really?
it's so gross.
Have you ever
and
been?
I never want to
Never
go.
been? I've only been one time, and I feel the same.
I've
I'm
only
all
been
set.
one time, and I'm dying to get back.
I've had so many opportunities and I just pass them up. I'm like, I don't want to
What?
go.
No. See, this is the thing. I went to Vegas when I was in 5th grade, right? Which seems absurd because
You're a
you're in
casino
5th grade.
family, though.
But my family
See, I don't like
loves gambling.
Mm-hmm.
And even as a 5th grader, I was like, Vegas is fucking awesome. The atmosphere of the place is great. That was supposed to be my sister's bachelorette party. We had a fucking awesome weekend plan, and it got canceled obviously last year. It was supposed to be in May of last year during but then the pandemic hit, so we couldn't do that. But I think Vegas is fucking awesome. I got to get back there as an adult.
Yeah, that's
Vegas
like
was
my worst
the-
nightmare.
Maybe it's not as good
Yeah.
as an adult, but as a kid, oh my god, M&M World, shit was popping.
Vegas was the trip that I took that I like landed back in New York the day that everybody went on 2-week lockdown. Like that was the last trip I had. The first time I went, but they were closing shit down. So the only thing I didn't get to do in Vegas, like I didn't mind it. I had fun. I'm not really a gambler, but I appreciate the like bright lights and loud sounds. We didn't get to go to a strip club. They closed strip clubs while we were there, and we didn't get to go. So I have to go back just for strip clubs, which I love.
I want to go back so bad to get to a strip club in Vegas, just to
I would
be in
love.
Vegas.
Yeah, I would
I
love.
love, like you said, the bright lights, the loud noises. It's like Times Square.
It is, yeah. It's Times Square 24/7, but once you get used to it, if you're fucked
Right.
up, and I think I would say we were there for maybe 3 days. That's maximum.
Yeah,
I
I
would
feel
not
like
be.
you can't spend-
I would not be there longer than that.
Yeah, I don't think you could spend like a week in Vegas.
No. That'd
Unless
be-
you're staying,
You can't go in the
outside
summer
of.
either because you can't go outside. It's so hot. It's like 109 degrees.
Yeah, it's like disgusting
Yeah, it
there.
is
It's
weird.
all
and
that-
there's
like,
no like ocean or
October.
anything.
yeah, that dry ass
Yeah.
heat.
Right, Sin City.
Sin City. I have one more type of sin. It's back to Catholicism. Original sin.
Oh,
that
this
shit?
shit always confused me.
Me too.
That was
Me
always
too.
on
I
the
know what it
test. What's the difference between an original sin and the other sins?
don't remember this. What is it?
Original sin is what you're born with. I don't even have to look this up.
Yeah.
Since I'm so afraid of it. What you're born with because Eve ate the apple. So we blame Eve forever. So people get baptized, and that's supposed to remove a baby from original sin. So a little, like small angel baby comes out, and it's a sinner, and you have to dump water on its head, blessed by the priest,
That's
to
why we
rid
get
them of original
baptized?
sin because of Eve.
I didn't even ever know that.
Yeah, that's what it is. 'Cause
You-
she
so stupid.
was
Obtain
tempted
you
by the
from
apple.
your original sin.
I'm
Yep.
so glad I'm an atheist.
No, it's fucking crazy. Like I read that all the time, and I think about how many baptisms I had to fucking go to. Like I have so many cousins. I have so many like family members like who have done this shit. Every baptism was always like, oh, so sweet, like pastels, a sheet cake after, which I do love a sugary ass sheet cake. I appreciate.
With the picture of
Yeah,
the baby
big
on
cross
it.
and the picture
Yeah,
of the baby.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
no, I love a cake like that. Don't get me wrong. That's a good fucking cake.
pretty good.
I don't mind those parties just for that cake, but.
Yeah.
We'd have these parties all the time, and it would be like, oh, this, that, like joy, yes, celebration, wonderful, new baby. And I remember like learning about it, literally what was behind it, and thinking, this is kind of a fucked up thing, huh? We can't just have a party for this baby. We have to bring it to this church. It comes in, it's like a dirty baby full of
Yeah.
sin, and they got to dump water on its head for us to have a party afterwards. The
I
fuck is
wish
this?
that when I was younger that I thought those things.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was
Yeah.
younger, I just went along with it because it's
Same.
everything I was surrounded by. It's
Yep.
all anybody knew is we didn't know any different besides the fact that like that's what you were born
like,
with. You
this
got to
is
get
normal.
baptized. This is all normal. And I never really thought otherwise until obviously later in my life where I was like, now I'm like, oh my God, all this shit is crazy. Like we really go around thinking that little babies are born sinners.
Yeah.
Like that is an absurd thing to think. Now I understand if you are super religious and you think those things, that's completely fine. Everybody can think what they want.
Yeah.
But when you like lay it out,
Logistically speaking, like,
speaking,
that's a little.
it's
A
like
baby?
the baby is a sinner.
Like,
let's think about
Eve
that.
did that shit a million years ago.
Right.
Like, you know
and
what I
did
mean?
Eve even do that?
Did she even do it? Is Eve real?
Yeah. Oh, the layers
me-
to this.
don't
The
get me started.
layers.
Yeah,
the
I actually
suspicion.
have to keep my mouth
The
shut.
the
suspicion
suspicion.
that we all
Might be
have is
Yeah, it's so expensive.
The suspicion that we have.
I'm suspicious of the Catholic Church. I'll say that. I'm suspicious.
we can't keep talking about the Catholic Church every
I know.
episode, okay?
I know.
Because one day they're coming for me.
They're gonna come.
One day they're
We
fucking
can take
coming
them
for me.
down.
We'll
We
take
could
them.
take
I say we got 'em.
That's what you think.
Nah, we'll get them as a
We
group.
have the power of sin.
They've got too much. They've got too much.
have
Too
the
many
Guys,
power.
skeletons.
stop bringing up the Catholic Church.
Well, we got equal opportunity. I was going to say the only reason that I learned that those things were like a little ridiculous is when I would talk to my friends who like were religious in other ways, and I would like talk about like specifically one of my Jewish friends. I'd be like, "Oh, I have a baptism this week." She'd be like, "What's that?" I'd explain it. She'd be like, "What?" Like this is when you hear. And that's not what you grew up with. It sounds crazy.
Yeah.
And then you start to think like, oh, interesting. Like, why was I told that, or why was I surrounded by that? But it is true that you only know what you know until you hear otherwise.
Exactly. It is really good to learn about other people's religions.
It really is,
because
yeah.
otherwise you just live in a bubble where you think your world is the right world and you never question anything otherwise. But then when you talk to other people from different religions or people who are not religious at all, you really just see things clearly. You're like,
Totally.
oh man, we're all just fed
Yeah.
a bunch of shit all the time.
Also,
How
I
is
bet
there so many different gods if there's only one? I don't
Exactly.
get- How are there so many different religions if there's only one of them is true? It's just
That's
like,
what I mean. Like, what do
like,
you,
come on.
you know, who's to say that yours
gotta
is
be
the
a
only one?
combination.
Gotta be a
Right.
combo. But I guess, yeah, it just, it's interesting to hear other perspectives. And then even if you hear those other perspectives and you think like, oh, I still like straight up, I'm God girl. Like this is, I love God. Like I don't care about your shit. God's for real. Good for you. That's more legit.
Yeah.
You've seen what's out there. You know what's up, and you still like a God girl. But
Yeah. I respect people who are super religious and can carry on every day
True.
to day like that. It's like good for you, but
yeah.
not for us.
No.
Not for us.
Not for
what
us.
other things, well, before we get into other suspicions,
You know what I also feel like is a sin? Not drinking enough water, because
Yes, it is.
it clearly just ruins your day. You don't feel good, and then you notice like weeks later, you're like, why do I feel so shitty? It's because you're dehydrated, and that's why I love Liquid IV, because with one stick of it, you're drinking 2 to 3 water bottles. And I personally, I don't like to drink water all day long. I'm not good at it. Water doesn't really taste good. It's like, it's boring. I want something that tastes good. And with Liquid IV, there's plenty of flavors. My favorite flavor is lemon lime. I get a pack, pour it in my water, and there you go. It's 2 to 3 water bottles, and it tastes good. It's like you're drinking something like sugary, but it doesn't have all the bad sugar, and there's plenty of electrolytes in it. It tastes good. It makes you feel good. And then 2 weeks later, you're like, I kind of feel good. What is that? It's because you're hydrated because of Liquid IV. It also helps with those horrible hangovers. I love using Liquid IV when I'm feeling like shit after a night of drinking. It helps, and there's nothing better than being hydrated. You could also get it in bulk at Costco, which is awesome. I say it all the time. Costco fucks. I love Costco.
Love Costco.
It really is the best. Why not buy your Liquid IV in bulk? Because you're going to want it in bulk. So you can go to liquidiv.com and use code HIGH at checkout for 25% off. That's 25% off of anything. When you order, you get better hydration today using promo code HIGH at liquidiv.com.
what other things are you guys highly suspicious of?
The government.
Yeah. The ocean.
The ocean. I feel
ocean.
like you have a deep fear of the ocean.
I have the deepest fear of the ocean.
Do you
And
really?
churches. It freaks me the fuck out. I'm so suspicious about
I want to hear more about the ocean.
Me
The
too. I
ocean.
don't know this.
I don't know. I'm just so horrified. Like it takes up 70% of the world. We have no idea what is down there. We can't even go down there because it's too deep. What's down there? Something's in there that's gonna kill everyone.
I'm sold. I agree with her. I'm never going
Like
in the
there's
ocean
so
again.
many dead bodies in the ocean. There's so many things.
Oh my God.
in the
So many
ocean.
dead bodies in
There's
the
so
ocean.
many
Oh my
crazy
God.
creatures in the ocean. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
When you say it like that, I never thought about how many dead bodies are in the ocean.
Yeah,
For sure.
And then all the dead animals and like all the
How,
trash.
how deep it is.
How deep it is. That's
How
what
deep
so
it is
scary, how
crazy.
deep it
Leagues.
is.
It's leagues
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
That's not even a
Like-
what's 1 league? I don't even know.
I don't even know.
So
Let me look.
deep and dark. I watch
Yeah.
so many ocean like documentaries. It's so scary. And did you know when there's like gas bubbles that erupt from the ground, and it's this craziest thing. Watch Life in
Yeah.
Color on Netflix and it will make you scared of the ocean.
Have you ever seen the movie The Impossible?
No.
Oh, it's about the tsunami.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It's unreal.
Tsunamis, like
That scares me to death. When that tsunami came over,
Waves.
it was Japan, right? The tsunami.
I think that was it. That was a movie.
It was Japan.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. It's over.
That was
It was
the most
certainly
recent.
over there. It might have been like Thailand, like Asia, somewhere over there. Horrible tsunami. I want to say I was in middle school, maybe early high school. It was the scariest thing, and I remember seeing pictures of it. Like somehow there were pictures of the fucking tsunami, and it was just a literal wall of water, and the rest of the water behind it was like all the way up and flat on top. I'm like, how is it? It just like came
horrifying.
up, stood on its back, and
Thailand,
right the fuck
I
through.
think.
Thailand, yeah.
And it can happen, like it can just happen, and you're just chilling
It's
on
crazy.
the beach. Tsunami,
It's insane. It's just, and then there's no running away from it. You can't
No,
get
you
away.
can't run from a
there's
tsunami.
No, that's it. You're dead. A league, by the way, 3.45 miles is one league. So
Do you know how many
think about
Poisonous
20,000 leagues under the sea. What's that?
animals are
Like
in the
that's
ocean?
like Herman Melville.
there's
Something.
so like there's like a little there's an octopus that's the size of your hand, and it's the most deadly thing in the ocean. It's a little baby octopus.
I was
Venom.
talking about this when I was out west. We were driving over the Golden Gate
right?
Bridge.
I'm really scared.
Yeah.
I really never thought about any of this.
The currents,
I
the
almost have
riptides can
tears
rip
coming
you
from
in.
my eyes because I love the ocean so much, and I literally
love it,
never.
but I'm so scared.
Even when people talked about sharks, I just was like, okay, well, it's not going to happen to me. Whatever happens, happens. And now it's almost like there's too many things to be afraid of to go into the ocean. I'm
Well,
probably
most of the
still
stuff
going to
you
go
just
in,
listed
but
is like you gotta go
go deep.
out there.
right. But the fact that you're even mentioning, do you think mermaids are real?
Could be. Why
Maybe.
couldn't they be? There's so many crazy things in the ocean.
Just watched Aquamarine kind
I
of recently.
kind of think mermaids are real
I like to think that they're
I
real.
would like to believe it too.
because we can't be the only life. Like when we talk about aliens and other things, we can't be the only life. Like
Yeah.
why can't there be life in the ocean other than animals?
I think it's crazy about mermaids specifically is that they've been rumored to be true for like all of time, like by people like.
Why
even-
can't we find them?
You know what I mean? But even in literally the olden days when people would start talking about it, it was like pirates and shit, like legit ass pirates would talk about seeing mermaids, and then mermaids have just been like, ocean folklore for all of eternity. So where did that even come from? Like where did that stem from? Was it one like mistake that one person saw and the people just ran with it, and now there's like a million different kinds of mermaids? Like you
there's
look at the
so
mermaids in
many
Harry
people that
Potter are
believe in
different
it.
than the mermaids in like the Little Mermaid. Aquamarine's a regular ass mermaid. Do they look weird? Do they look normal?
Kind of the same thing as religion.
Yeah.
It's like you heard it.
Listen to this stat: more than 80% of our ocean is unmapped, unobserved, and unexplored.
Yes, that is
So
the
like
scariest fact.
that's where they are.
There's so many unknown things in the ocean that we'll just never
Why
know
do people
exist.
not know though?
But also,
Because
you
it's
just
too
can't.
deep.
I've seen
You
people
can't
go, how do
search
they
it all.
know the percentage that we have explored if they don't know the percentage that exists?
That's even exists.
Like,
yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good point.
and with technology, there's no way to figure out what's going on underwater.
You can send things down, but like you physically can't go.
They lose their but also they lose their like signal after a while.
Like, it just
they can only go
goes
so
so
far.
far.
And if they lose the signal, then it's gone. Also,
That is too much to take in,
we were
we'll
driving over
never
the
and we'll never know.
the submarine that just vanished the other week.
Oh my fucking God.
They're
Yeah.
all dead, right?
They're all dead.
That is so scary and sad.
It's
like
insane.
how did
It's
they know what
insane.
happened?
I think it was something messed up with the submarine and it just sank. And like then it's like they had a certain amount of oxygen, and once
Oxygen.
that's gone, they
Right.
just
Imagine
die.
what they're feeling.
Yeah,
no,
you
I
just
can't
know
imagine.
you're gonna die.
No, it's.
I hope they had-
sick to my stomach.
A gun or something to put them out of the
Right? Like, I think
I wouldn't just want to
People really
suffocate.
think mermaids are real.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking it.
Do you remember that one video that was surfacing, the mermaid video that everyone thought was real?
I don't know.
Let me
if I
try to
do.
find it
You
while
look for
we
it, and
keep
let me tell the
talking.
story before I forget it, because it'll also blow your minds. We were driving over the the Golden Gate Bridge the other day, looking out at Alcatraz, and we were talking about how could people swim from Alcatraz to the shore, and they were saying like, I guess one person has done that before or whatever, and I was saying like, I would never swim. Like, I think I could swim that distance. It's only a couple miles. It's like not that hard, but there's crazy currents and stuff around it. So it's difficult. Like if you likely die, but I'd be more worried about what's in the ocean right there. And also because it's next to a city, and I feel the same way about like the Hudson River and the East River here. that you don't know what kind of mutations the animals in there have become. Like this, people find like 3-eyed fish all the time. You know what I mean? So you have no idea what's literally in there. And even if you think it's a bass, it could be like a bass with piranha teeth and like all this other shit because it like swallowed some oil from that oil runoff from the fucking city. You know what I mean?
This is a video. This was on ABC News.
I have chills. I
ABC
really don't
News.
feel good.
Yes.
You look unsettled. You look unsettled. But
I
I
am
am
very unsettled.
It is unsettling.
I have like tears coming from my eyes a little bit, getting teary-eyed.
It's unsettling.
What the fuck? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Will you send that to me later?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I wanna see it.
Bree just showed us this video, and it literally looks like a mermaid with a tail jumping into water. Who knows if that's real? I think that when you look up if mermaids are real, it's those terrifying looking fucking things.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
look like
Like in-
aliens underwater.
Like in Harry Potter.
I
Like in
think
Harry
that's
Potter
what
when
they
they go
would-
into the lake and there's those like
realistically look like.
Probably.
Like they wouldn't be half human, half
because they
mermaid.
wouldn't because think about when someone dumps a dead body somewhere and it like washes ashore or they
Yeah,
get
your
it or
skin
whatever. The
erodes.
skin is gross. The skin is crazy. They are blue. It's like they're fucked up. So regular human skin like couldn't be on a
No.
mermaid. It'd have to be like scaly. It'd have to be fish-like. You know what I mean? And the hair is whatever. But even the hair I feel would be different.
I physically don't feel well.
Yeah, no, we're suspicious as hell of that.
I'm suspicious.
Do you guys have?
That just fucked me up.
Do you guys have a memory of the first time you were suspicious of something?
Leprechauns.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. That's a really good one because
really
leprechauns.
thought leprechauns
I
were
thought a
real.
lot about leprechauns as a kid. What did you think about them?
I really thought they were real. You know, well, I don't know. I feel like Catholic schools did this,
Yes.
the leprechaun traps, and it was like
Yes.
a big thing to catch the leprechauns. I every year decked out, made the craziest leprechaun trap, and of course the teachers went around and like made it look like you almost caught it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was onto it. I was like really thinking leprechauns were real. I was doing research. I was going to the library and getting leprechaun books, and I was like, these things are real. I know they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe they are.
The gold. We always were like given the gold, and then
Yeah,
they would like
yeah.
steal the gold and be like, "Oh, your shit was stolen by a leprechaun." It was like, okay, well, not really. Like, what the
No.
hell are you talking about?
You just stole all my candy.
I was suspicious always of like of the tooth fairy specifically because I never understood how the tooth wouldn't get lost under the pillow. Like if I had a tooth under my pillow, I like wouldn't move when I slept because I was like because I usually sleep on my stomach with my hands under my pillow. So I was like if I have to sleep on my
catch our
back,
parents doing that?
I have no idea.
Like
No
I would
idea.
wake up in a second now.
Yeah, me too.
Someone
Yeah.
was lifting my pillow up and putting money under it.
I also wasn't
Very
suspicious
suspicious.
though. I wasn't suspicious of like Santa Claus. I believed that shit until like the 3rd grade, like way too late. But
I was
why
really
wouldn't I be suspicious of
suspicious.
that?
for a little bit.
I can't remember being suspicious.
I was a hard believer.
You're just a trusting person.
I think I heard someone say it and I was like, now I'm thinking it's not real. So I would like stay up and listen and like
Yeah, I
try
don't
to
think
s-
I like
yeah.
cared that much. I don't know
Yeah.
about any of those things.
It
The
was
Tooth
so
Fairy,
much
Santa
fun when
Claus.
you believed.
But I'm the last child, so like I think it was also that nobody really played it up for me as much as they probably
Yeah.
did for my brother and sister. So I feel like
True.
I wasn't as suspicious.
It wasn't such a big part of it. Yeah, because I was the oldest, it was like
I'm not even joking.
Didn't
I
shut
feel
the hell up about Santa Claus.
sick to my stomach about the ocean.
About the
like
ocean.
I'm
You're-
really
I can see you're
unsettled
pressed.
about the whole thing.
You're
Fine,
pressed
you
about the
don't have to go
ocean.
swimming today.
No, I know, but I'm like
You're not going to the
really
ocean right
unsettled
now.
about. I just never opened up my mind to it like that.
Picture what's in the Hudson.
Oh my god, I would never fucking go near the Hudson.
Never
when
in
people
a million
jet
years.
ski in the Hudson, I'm like,
I was
what
I
is
was like
wrong
getting
with you?
drinks
I've
on
done
the
that
water.
before.
There,
You've jet
like
skied in the
9
Hudson?
people
Yeah,
jet
and
skiing.
our jet ski got broke down in the middle of the Hudson River, and we like
That's
someone had to come
disgusting.
get us. Like
Oh
we were
my
just out there.
God.
That's
That's
disgusting.
hard. That's terrifying.
I think it would
I'd be
be
really
funny
afraid
for a
of that.
video to go jet skiing in the Hudson. It's kind of in a
It
hilarious
would look
thing.
sick, but it's just like we'd come out with webbed feet.
The
you
water
know?
is
like,
that it's-
it's just we couldn't.
You know that it's
Yeah.
not as dirty. They found seahorses in the Hudson, and seahorses
Really?
need like they have to.
I think
live
it's
in-
gotten cleaner recently.
Yeah, seahorses can't live in contaminated water.
Yeah,
But
well,
maybe
apparently
the
New
Hudson
York
River
has
ones
like
can,
the
though,
best
you know?
water. That's a rumor. That's
What?
why you could
Oh, that's
drink.
that's like
the-
a fact. I think it's not because it's not from the Hudson. It's like from
Yeah.
because of it's a city. It like is it's channeled in
something about the water.
Something
in New York
about the
City
water. It's the
apparently
best
is
tap
better,
water.
I
Yeah.
just don't trust.
in major cities.
Water.
Usually it's the best. Usually tap water is really good in major
Bodies
cities.
of water are scary. Like, how do animals just come about? It's so scary.
Stop.
Alligators, any
Stop
body
it.
of water.
It's crazy.
I am.
We can't talk
horrified.
about it anymore. because I can't even continue the podcast because I'm
shut up about it.
sick to my stomach.
Have you ever seen those videos where like a dog is swimming in a lake or something and an alligator just...
Yes,
No, I will not allow
No,
myself to watch
Those
that.
have popped up
horrible.
on like TikTok for
What
me.
about the little baby in Disney snatched
yeah.
up by the alligator?
Oh shit.
Oh,
is so
I actually
fucked
do
up.
remember
That
that.
is so
remember
fucked
that.
up. Alligators are so scary. Oh my
Baby
god.
should have known to run zigzag.
Baby should have known. Yeah, the
kidding.
baby's fucked up.
That's a
right?
terrible joke.
Come on,
I'm
come on,
sorry.
baby.
I'm sorry.
Damn, rest in peace of that
Yeah,
baby.
Damn,
no, that's
fuck
fucked
that.
up.
Would
you guys
I'm
like to
really sorry
hear
about that.
the difference between suspicion and intuition?
Okay.
Yes.
Suspicion and mistrust of people or their actions without evidence or justification. So that's like suspicion. The definition of intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning, a thing that one knows or considers likely from instinctive feeling rather than conscious reasoning. So intuition is like you feel something. Suspicion is like you have reason to be suspicious. Like you've seen something or you've heard something or there's something in your mind from the past, you're recognizing patterns, things like that. It's more of like an observant thing. Intuition is like from your, like a feeling that you get in your body.
It's like when you tell somebody, I think this is going to happen, and they're like, why? And you're like, I don't know.
So
I just
gut
feel
feeling.
this
I just
way.
feel it, yeah.
Versus, I think this is going to happen. Why? Here's this, and this reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was checking the
I feel
following
like
tab on Instagram.
A lot of times, I feel like I have intuition where it's just like, I don't know. I just feel this way. And then sometimes it'll happen.
Same. I always have a gut feeling.
I used to think I had I still think I have like a little bit of intuition in a certain way, but I used to think I had like actual powers for real because in the old cell phones, like the LG phase, like the like Nokia phase, when you were getting text messages, you could like hear, or I don't know, I could hear it in like a frequency way. When a text message was coming, it was almost like a some kind of like frequency because the phone would be like picking it up, and so it'd be like a light ringing in my ears, and I'd be like and I would look over at my phone, and then as I looked, the text would come through, and I was like, oh, interesting. But only with old phones. Like iPhones, I can't do it. But with older phones, it was like that. But I just figured that was like brainwave, like some kind of waves coming, like the transmitter waves that I could
You're
like
picking
hear.
up on the
That'd be cool.
frequency.
Yeah, which is weird. I
used
do have a
to
good sense
like
of
stare at
hearing.
things and pretend I would like stare at things, move,
And then you think that they're moving them, but they're not.
I would like.
Of course.
This happens to me all the time where I think about somebody texting me and then they text me.
Yeah.
All the
That
time.
is true. You
like
always say that.
it happens to me more often than not, and it really freaks me out because I'm always
If you're
like,
talking about someone and then they text you. It's
yeah.
Like,
But sometimes I'll literally just think in my head, like, imagine this person texted me, and then all of a sudden I'll like look on my phone, there'll be a text,
It's so
or I'll
weird.
be thinking about something that happened weeks ago. I'll be like, this something like I was supposed to bring this up to this person, and then that person will text me about that situation. It's very weird. It happens to me all the time.
That is weird. That is really weird. Are you guys suspicious people in general? Like, do you get suspicious of other people frequently?
Yeah.
I like to. I look at the bad side. I'm like, something's up with them. I always like have suspicions about people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
feel the same.
try not to though, but I do. I think everybody does, but sometimes it's not good.
It's not
because
good.
then it's like
you're biased and you're like, I hate this person for a reason that doesn't exist.
right, and then it's just like, then do you like anybody?
Yeah.
Right? Like, are you
think-
I'm very
not?
suspicious of guys with like all my friends. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the same. Do you guys think that maybe there's some confusion in our brains with suspicion and like judgment? Like we're maybe being judgy, so it automatically makes us suspicious. I feel like that's personally for myself. Like I'll see somebody, I'm like, like I don't know about you. I'm like a little suspicious of you, but really maybe I'm just like judging them before knowing them, or judging them before like really having a feeling about like who they are actually.
Yeah, I feel like that happens sometimes. I feel like when I'm suspicious, there's a reason why I'm suspicious.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
they did something one time, and now from that moment on, it's like,
Breadcrumbs in your phone.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, okay, well, now all the things you're doing are adding up.
Yeah.
And so then you become more suspicious.
Have you guys ever been suspicious and like dug for something and found the answer to why you were suspicious? Like, have you ever like thought something, were suspicious about something, and then found out you were right about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like almost
Too
always.
many times.
Yeah.
Too many times.
And it's like you made it too
And that's
easy.
why you always become suspicious, because you're like, well, I'm always right at the end.
That's exactly right, and also such a problem for me right now. Like I have been right so many times in suspicious situations where now I don't trust a single fucking thing anybody says. Like especially guys, like or if somebody's talking to me or whatever, and I know them well enough, or they've like done me wrong or something like that. I just don't. And that I'm sure is like a trust thing as well. But I just don't like everything you're doing is like you're gaslighting me. You're like trying to pull the wool over my eyes. Something is going on and I'm going to get to the bottom of it because I'm not going to look like a fool at the end of this. And then more times than not, I'm pretty right.
But do you almost feel like you're speaking it into existence sometimes?
Yes.
Like where if you were to just like let things go and just be like going with the flow, not suspicious, everybody's cool, then like maybe everyone would just be cool.
I do, but I just don't believe that everybody would just be cool. Like I
everyone,
almost feel
but
like the things that I'm thinking that I think that I'm speaking into existence were already happening, and I'm trying to be the person that's like called it, fucking knew it. I fucking like, why did you lie about that? Why didn't you tell me that? Why didn't this happen? Blah, 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 whatever. But I don't know why I feel the need to be like that.
Sometimes it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's kind of just like whatever.
You're just digging yourself a hole.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. No, it's a tough situation. What do you guys think also too about suspicious for good things? Like, we had a person in the voicemail. It's kind of a long voicemail, but I'll say it now. She is suspicious that she might get proposed to. All right, guys, let's get into our voicemails. As usual, we had 1 million people call in, and everybody had really good voicemails. Thank you always for calling, and also thank you for being so complimentary. I feel like the voicemails really put me in a good mood when I get to listen to them, because every single one intros with like just, even if like a little bit of a rambly story and we can't put it on, people are just really, really sweet about that. So thank you guys so much for listening always and calling in. But let's start off with engagement suspicion, like we were just talking about.
Hey ladies, my name is Laura. I'm from Montana. Love the pod. I'm calling in about the suspicions, and this is like kind of a fun suspicion actually. So my boyfriend and I have been together for like almost 4 years now. We own a house together, we own a dog. You know, we're just kind of like getting to the next phase of our life where I'm like, all right, like, is the proposal going to happen? And last month, his cousin is also my best friend, and we were all hanging out at the house drinking, and he like pulled her aside and talked to her for a while, and I was like, that's suspicious. And then the next day, I was like, bitch, are you going to tell me, like, what you guys were talking about? And she's like, I can't tell you. And I was like, what do you mean you can't tell me? She's like, my lips are sealed. So obviously I had to badger her about it, right? And be like, okay, tell me. And she's like, all I can tell you is that he knows the kind of rings you like. And I'm like, so now, I don't know what that means. Does that mean it's happening soon? Does that mean it's happening sometime this year? Like, what am I supposed to do with that information now? Now I'm just suspicious that anytime we go anywhere, I'm going to have to be prepared to get proposed to. So yeah, very fun, but very stressful. So that's my current suspicion. Love you guys. Bye.
I would advise that you get your nails done every 2 weeks for the next 6 months.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Like, yeah.
I personally wouldn't ask those questions. I wouldn't be like, what did he say? I wouldn't want to know. I would want it to be a surprise.
Yeah, but think about this. Like, your best friend is talking. Well, it's also his cousin. But they're talking, and then she's like, I can't tell you. She should have just made something up, because once you say I can't tell you,
so then you know.
Then you know something suspicious is going on. So your best friend and his cousin,
I think best
kind
friend
of fucked up.
The bag.
She fumbled the bag because she should have lied and been like, oh, he was telling me about literally anything. She could have made anything up.
Yeah. He's like surprising you with something next week.
Could have been a family thing.
Right.
Like,
family stuff, like whatever. Could have been anything. I think you're right about the every 2 week manicure thing. I also think that the pressure of waiting for an engagement is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's scary.
It sucks. That sucks. I feel like it sucks that people have to deal with that. People get so worked up like waiting for something like that. Girls, it's something about like, it's just like a switch flips and girls go fucking crazy. I have a friend of mine who's fucking crazy right now leading up to her wedding, and it's like, oh man, girls are just.
My sister lost her fucking mind waiting to get proposed to.
Yeah.
Like, she was getting her nails done constantly and would always tell the people at the nail place, like, I think I'm getting proposed to. And then I would go in to get my nails done. They would be like, anything with your sister yet? And I'm like, nope. And they'd be like, ooh. It was always
so tough.
Touchy subject every time. One time he took her to like a Broadway musical in the city, and then to her favorite restaurant. And so she was like, I'm definitely getting proposed to. And then it came home and it didn't happen, and she was so fucking mad, like screaming her head off. I was
how did he finally do it?
In Aruba.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's
and she fucked it up because we all went, and because we all knew that he was going to do it there, And this was the night before I was leaving. I was leaving earlier than everybody else. And they were at the casino and he was like, all right, let's go back. And she was like, no, I'm on a hot streak. I can't leave. So she refused to leave the casino. And so he didn't want to do it at fucking 2, 3 in the morning. And so I was gone the next day and then he did it that night. It was so fucked up. I was so pissed.
Yeah, that's so
But
annoying.
at that point, he brought the ring to Aruba. He was like, I had to do it at
Of course.
some point while I was there. It was just unfortunate that couldn't happen the last night you were there.
Yeah.
So fucked up.
That is fucked up. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do prude about sex.
Fuck you, stupid bitches. It's the missing stupid bitch. I just want to say how much I love the podcast. I truly think we're friends, even though you have no idea who I am. I'm sitting in my bed right now, smoking a joint and watching some Law and Order. And I'd like to call in about the topic, sex. I, for one, am such a prude. Sex grosses me out. I have to skip ahead of the podcast when you guys talk about it sometimes. It is just like not my vibe. And then I had some fun one time and have been traumatized, so I think I'm going to just die virgin instead. Well, that was it. Just wanted to tell you. Kind of have nothing else to say afterwards, but love you guys. Toodaloo. Hope this makes it on.
That's funny.
Oh, I love that.
it.
And I love the
used to
fact
be
that
like
he
that.
couldn't
I said
even...
it sounds like you talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
He couldn't even listen to this episode. He
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
skipped
Yeah,
through
he
the whole
probably
He's gonna
thing.
be so upset.
But that is, I mean, listen, some people are just like that. Like, I have a lot of friends who can't even talk about it without getting highly uncomfortable. Joking around about it is like, ugh.
That's like my mom. My mom
Yeah.
can't. Like growing up, I never talked about sex.
Yeah.
Like this is a totally different part of my life. My mom will like be squeamish, or I wouldn't even say the word sex in front of my mom. I don't think
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
And yeah, I feel like, Brie, you...
It was the same as Kelly growing up. Like, don't
yeah,
talk about
just
that.
not
Yeah.
no shit like that.
My
And
parents probably did too many sex jokes in front of me.
probably.
Honestly.
My
That's
dad
why
would-
I'm so carefree when I make jokes about it, and
Yeah.
I forget that other people are just not as comfortable.
Yeah.
completely.
Everyone's different.
I think it's fine if you're like uncomfortable, whatever. You don't have to be like screaming about like pussy all day long
Right.
or like whatever. You don't have to do that. I think you just figure out what you like. If they call you a prude, that's their problem.
Yeah, who cares?
Okay, let's do a post-pregnancy sex apology.
Hi, guys. I am calling about sex, and I'm sure you're going to get all sorts of stories of people with these crazy sex stories, but mine is actually quite the opposite. I want to give a shout out to my husband, who also listens to this podcast, because we have not had sex in a month because I am in my first trimester of planned pregnancy, by the way. So to all the husbands and partners whose wives and partners are in their first trimester of pregnancy and they feel like shit all the time and we don't even get to snuggle because that makes me want to die. We love you and we appreciate you and you are the best and it will get better. And once I hit that 12-week mark, we will be begging all the time. Love you, Bri.
That's sweet.
I thought it was
that
really
was
sweet. I wanted a nice little sweet one.
Teared up a little
Yeah.
bit. I mean, let's hear about
I've
that.
been feeling
nice.
sentimental about babies this week for some reason. Remember, I was talking so much shit a couple weeks ago, calling them narcissists.
Yeah.
A couple of like sweet parent things that I've like seen happen this week. I've been like tearing up about. I'm like, oh man,
Wow, look
that's
at you,
sweet.
turning
I
a
know.
leaf.
So that
Maybe
was
it's time.
that was nice. It's not. It's definitely not time.
Maybe
but
that'll change your life.
Maybe the mystical, magical fuck you had last week put a baby in you.
It was definitely.
Right?
Oh, don't even curse. Don't even put
No,
that
we
curse
don't
on me
want
right
to
now.
knock on the
I'm about to-
table.
I take my curse back.
Please, Jesus fucking Christ. No. But yeah, I just thought that was a sweet
That
little
was
note.
That's
really
And
beautiful.
a sweet message to her husband. Hang in there, man. It's coming. She'll have sex with you again.
You guys will
Yeah.
be banging like
Give him a dry
rabbits.
hand job.
Yeah, just give me
Yeah.
a dry handy.
Couple dry handies. Send him over to
Guys love
Rhea's dick
that.
exfoliation service.
Yeah.
She'll take care of it.
Absolutely gross. I'm thinking about cutting that out, but I know we have to keep it in.
No, you gotta keep it. Gotta keep it. But anyway, as usual, thank you guys so much for calling in. If you want to call in next time, it's 551-258-3436. We'd love to hear from you all.
All right, we've been slacking on the table reads. We really have been slacking,
Yeah.
and we're coming in swinging with a good one. How have we never done The Hangover before?
I have no idea.
That should have been like the first thing we thought
I know.
of.
We could do multiple scenes from The Hangover.
Yeah, we could do every scene
We
from The
could
Hangover.
do the whole movie.
If you guys are interested, we could do the whole movie. Live action, though.
Live action
Has to be
on
live
YouTube.
action.
Yeah.
Act out the whole thing in the office.
Yeah.
I got to pull my tooth out.
Yeah.
as Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to
I'm
work on.
into it. We gotta get a baby. I gotta get a baby.
Yeah, we'll find
Oh,
one.
we can find one
Oh,
easy.
Kate. We could ask Kate.
Yeah. That's perfect.
Her
That's
baby.
perfect.
Yeah,
There
that's
we
Oh,
go.
she'd be so down.
Yeah, she would.
Me and Carlos jacking off the table.
Yeah.
She'd love it.
Yeah.
She'd love it.
So what is this scene? It's the
This is that scene. It's where they
wake up.
After they wake up, they come down and they're trying to piece together the night before.
And they're going to eat. They're sitting out. It seems like they're having lunch. By the way, we have not watched the scene before we did this. We did not practice once.
I watched the
this
scene.
is
You
really just going with the flow, off the cuff. I've seen the movie a bunch, but I wish I had sunglasses right now to really get into my Bradley Cooper, but it's all right.
I know. I wish I had a baby.
Yeah.
I don't think he was wearing sunglasses in the scene, so that makes for authenticity.
I guess so, but Bradley Cooper with sunglasses just makes sense to me.
Yeah, it does. You're right. You're right about that.
All right. I'm Alan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Phil, look. He's jacking his little weenus.
Pull yourself together, bud.
Not at the table, Carlos.
I looked everywhere. The gym, casino, front desk. Nobody's seen Doug. He's not here.
He's fine. He's a grown man. Seriously, Stu, you gotta calm down.
I can't have juice right
have
now.
some juice.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry.
You cut me off.
I didn't mean
in
to.
the middle of the fucking script,
Fuck.
Kelly.
See, guys? Come on.
In the middle of the fucking
This is why
script.
we practice.
There's a fucking script.
Listen, this eye is like fuzzy today for some reason. I don't know why. I was looking at this line and I thought I didn't see.
Let me finish.
I didn't see the here have some juice. I can't see that part with my eyes. I thought you were done, and I wasn't even listening to what you were saying. I'll be honest.
Why would you say you can't have juice right now?
Because he dry heaves and says I can't have juice right now.
Because he's passing him juice.
I thought you had already said it. Because I wasn't
Bring it
listening.
back. Let's bring it back.
I wasn't
Bring it back from the
listening.
top.
Bring it back from
Never
the top.
happened.
Never
Never
happened.
happened.
Let's restart.
All right. Hey, Phil, look. He's jacking his little weenus.
Pull yourself together, bud.
Not at the table, Carlos.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Dude.
I just don't want to talk. I just don't want to talk.
Noah, take over Kelly's
No,
role.
no.
I'm kidding. All right, we got to take it from the top. Take it
All
from
right,
the top.
you got it.
Take 3, The Hangover, Scene 4.
All right, let's go. Hey, Phil, look. He's jacking his little weenus.
Pull yourself together, bud.
Not at the table, Carlos.
I looked everywhere. Gym, casino, front desk. Nobody's seen Doug. He's not here.
He's fine. He's a grown man. Seriously, Stu, you gotta calm down. Here, have some juice.
I can't have juice right now.
Okay, all right. Listen. Let's just track this thing, all right? What's the last thing we remember doing last night?
Well, the first thing was we were on the roof and we were having those shots of Jaeger.
And then we ate dinner at the Palm, right?
Yeah, that's right. And then we played craps at the Hard Rock, and I think Doug was there.
That sounds right. No. He definitely was.
Yeah. You know what, guys? I don't even remember going to dinner.
I know. Fuck. I don't think I've ever been this hungover.
After the Hard Rock, I blacked out. It was like emptiness.
Okay, we have up until 10 p.m., so that gives us a 12-hour window where we could have lost him.
What is this?
Oh my God, that's my tooth. Why do you have that? What else is in your pockets?
No. This is a good thing. Check your pockets. Do you have anything?
I have an ATM receipt from the Bellagio, 1105 for $800. I am so fucked.
I have a valet ticket from Caesars. It looks like we got there at 5:15 a.m.
Oh, shit. We drove last night?
Driving drunk. Classic. What's on your arm?
What the fuck is this?
Jesus, Phil, you were in the hospital last night?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, Alan, I'm fine.
What the hell is going on?
Stu, this is a good thing. We have a lead now.
Hey, Stu, watch this. Have you ever seen a baby do that?
Alan, not cool.
We're back.
There
Took
it
20
is.
tries. We did
We're
it.
back. We're back.
There we go. There we go.
I'm gonna give that one to Brie if we're even still giving out the award.
Okay.
No, I
we
think, I
should
think,
give
I
the
think Brie
award.
deserved
Yeah.
that award.
Thanks, guys.
Your laughs were authentic.
Yeah.
I
No,
appreciated that.
how do people laugh in movies? That's hard.
I don't know.
It is.
Like a crazy laugh. Like, it sounds so forced.
It's right. It always sounds forced.
Yeah.
It's so hard. I could never
can't do,
take
like,
that
a
role
fake-
for that reason. I couldn't fake laugh like
I
that.
can't do a fake laugh.
I'd be
Yeah,
like,
for that
reason. Like,
Oh, no. Somebody offers you a part in Hollywood and you got to laugh. No, thanks.
Can't take it.
Yeah,
Can't
true,
take
true,
it. I'm
true.
a serious actress.
that's how it's gonna sound. It'll sound ridiculous. I wouldn't do the role justice. Could not sacrifice the integrity of the role.
No.
But I think we must do the entire Hangover film.
Oh, we have.
Yeah, I think that's
Next
great.
Start
week we'll
to
do
finish.
another scene.
Start
There
to
you go.
finish. Fabulous.
We're having a good